I am continuing in my reading. What I'm doing in this series is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am continuing reading in a chronological order, according to event, not according to publication or volume. So I'm skipping around a bit as I move along. We are continuing in the Gospels. We are down to the end. Christ had the Last Supper, went to the Garden of Gethsemane, was arrested, and we read his trial before the priests. In our last reading, we read about his trial before Pilate in Luke, as Luke has the longest record of this portion of the story. We are now going to read the same portion of the story in John, because he has the second longest record of this portion. Now again, John here does not have any Joseph Smith translations. John chapter 18, verses 28 to 38. Then led they Jesus from Caiaphas unto the hall of judgment, and it was early, and they themselves went not into the judgment hall, lest they should be defiled, but that they might eat the Passover. Pilate then went out unto them, and said, What accusation bring ye against this man? They answered and said unto him, If he were not a malefactor, we would not have delivered him up unto thee. Then said Pilate unto them, Take ye him, and judge him according to your law. The Jews therefore said unto him, It is not lawful for us to put any man to death, that the saying of Jesus might be fulfilled, which he spake, signifying what death he should die. Then Pilate entered into the judgment hall again, and called Jesus, and said unto him, Art thou the King of the Jews? Jesus answered him, Sayest thou this thing of thyself, or did others tell it thee of me? Pilate answered, Am I a Jew? Thine own nation and the chief priests have delivered thee unto me. What hast thou done? Jesus answered, My kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then should my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence. Pilate therefore said unto him, Art thou a king then? Jesus answered, Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Every one that is of the truth heareth my voice. Pilate saith unto him, What is truth? And when he had said this, he went out again unto the Jews, and saith unto them, I find in him no fault at all. So this actually puts me straight on my timeline. There were a few hints that I was wrong, and I have to admit that I was wrong according to John. This is all taking place on they arrested him on the Passover. Christ did the Last Supper that night. They went into the garden. So they would have eaten the feast around 8 o'clock, just as the sun's going down, had all their time in the upper chamber, probably left at about 10:30, went into the garden where they prayed for 3 to 4 hours. And at about 4 o'clock in the morning, he was arrested. He is then brought to trial before the priests. Probably lasted an hour or so. And it probably lasted about 2 hours because it was early, and they take him to the hall of judgment. So they're taking him, this is early morning now, so it's all on the same day. This all happened in one night, so far what we've read. They don't want to go into the judgment hall because it's the Sabbath, and so you don't go into the judgment hall on Sabbath. So they just send him in. Pilate initially looks at him and says, What's going on here? And then he comes there and says, Wait a minute, you haven't told me what he's guilty of. And what's their answer? They don't give an accusation here. They just say, well, if he wasn't guilty of something, we wouldn't have brought him to you. And he says, look, you guys, you deal with your own laws. But they said, well, we cannot order his execution. And so he then interviews Christ again, trying to figure out what's going on. And we get this is probably the more famous exchange between Pilate and Christ. To this end was I born. Christ is telling Pilate, I have to do this. This is why I am here. I am not here to set up an earthly kingdom. I'm here to set up a heavenly kingdom. And Pilate is kind of taken aback by this. He is shaken a little bit by Christ. But he still goes out and says, I can find nothing worthy of death. There's nothing to accuse him of. So we leave it there. In our next video, we will be reading both Matthew and Mark because they are fairly short in their recounting of these events. So I will see you there.